Good evening, gentlemen. I wanted to welcome you to the way that I do my wood grade crossings. Now, I found this out to be most cost effective, which is a lot less cost effective. The materials that I'm using tonight, I'm going to introduce you to. That's a Woodland Scenics burnt umber and the raw umber. Then I'm going to be using a number 2 paintbrush, which I found out works out quite well. Now this is a wood grain grade crossing that I got from Blair Line. As you can see, it does quite match up with the wood that I do have here. This particular wood that I'm using is from Northeastern Scale Lumber. Now this is a 1/16 by 1/16 by 11 piece, and it comes 2 to a pack. Now it is scored to represent different boards, although it is one piece. So as we get underway, I'll show you how I made this wood grade crossing. Number 2, you're going to want to use a metal ruler. This is actually off of Stanley level, and I just took the level off of it. And it makes it great because then you don't have to use a wooden ruler and have to worry about cutting into the ruler itself as you're using your hobby knife. So once again, you're going to want this metal ruler. Scale lumber, which is grooved 1/16 by 1/16 by 11. Comes 2 pieces in the package. You can usually find these at many hobby stores if you look in the wood section. Once again, you can find the Woodland Scenics burnt umber or the raw umber. And you can even find the same colors in a different brand at Michael's craft store, or even at Walmart you can find these things. Now we have our materials. And our next step, I'll show you how we're going to get started with this project. Okay, step 1. Here we go. Now, for an HO grade crossing, which is what I'm creating here, I used a 9/16 of an inch for the width. And depending how wide your grade crossing actually is, you can determine that by the area that you're actually modeling. Now this is the Blair Line crossing that you can buy packaged already, and this is the one that I created. Of course, it is a little bit wider, as you can see. That's because it is thinner on the material, so it can ride right above the nails, if you will. So it clears the track perfectly, as you would drive over in normal life. We'll get started with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to measure 1/16, 9/16 rather. Now, I'll take my hobby knife and I'm going to score the wood. And well, this is pretty easy to do because you're going to go pretty much right along the grooves that they give you. rough edges here. That's okay, because what we're going to do is we need a beveled edge because we don't want our couplers getting hung up on the rough edges. I'll just take my hobby knife, go straight down, smooth this out. Next, I'm going to lay it flat. Flat with the grains up. I'm going to go at it at an angle. A little bit of pressure. And we'll start chipping away. Those rough edges, and we get a nice smooth surface there that curves down. Now we're going to do the same on the other side. Work it until it comes free. There we got our unfinished grade crossing. And we come to step 2. I'll show you how I'm going to paint it. That'll give it that weathered effect. Okay, here we go. We're going to start by painting. And the way I'm going to paint this, actually, I'm going to start out with the raw umber, first of all. Because you want that green on there first. You want that in the bottom. So get my brush real wet. Nice stuff about this, you have to worry about it getting on your fingers. It wipes off quite neat, nicely. It starts brushing the board. Get the ends real good. Don't be afraid to use the paint. I'm going to get those grooves in the plank board deeply. Don't forget to hit your sides. Got the grade crossing covered with the raw umber. We went over the grooves. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually just set the brush to the side. And I'm going to grab a regular old paper towel. Just simply stroke at the wood, both ends. In the meantime, wipe your fingers off. As you can see what's transporting now, if you're looking at it. The board actually has that treated lumber look to it. As you can see. Now, we're going to use the burnt umber. good. Ah, you're mixing the burnt umber with the raw umber. Now, is that weathered look. The paper towel. And there you have, after it dries, your wood grate crossing. Just like the one I created before. And you can make tons of these depending on what you want to do and what area that you're working for. Next up we come back, we'll show where we're going to place it. Okie dokie. Here we go. We're getting ready to place our grade crossing in this particular area that I've been working on for a while. As you can see, it is missing one. Now, what we're going to try to do, but what we're going to do, we're going to set grade crossing in this particular area. Glue it into place. Now keep a note, when you are putting down this grade crossing, you're going to want to watch out for the flangeways of the wheels of the trucks. So if you don't, you're going to have quite a few derailments, and we don't want that. So you always want to make sure you have the right clearance on each side of the inside rail. Whether it be to the left or the right. What I'm going to use to glue this down in place is I'm going to use your typical glue gun. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put it into place. And like I said, you want to watch out for the flangeways on both sides. So you're going to want to eyeball it as you're putting it down. Once you got it into place, that's why I like using the plastic glue, because it gives you a little bit more time as the glue is setting up. You can play with it rather than you need to go to the right or to the left of the rails as the glue is setting. It's pretty much got into place. I just run my fingers across. And the nice thing about using this type of glue also is, if you do make a mistake, it's really easy just to pull it up, strip the glue off the back side, and start over again. But it looks like we got it really good. Now, as a test, I will take a train car and run it across my grade crossing, just to make sure the flangeways are clear. Which they are. No derailment. And there we have our wood grain crossing. And and we can start again on the other side. I hope this was informational to you, and thank you very much.